Hey guys, welcome back to another video. This is the Pinehill P27 and really different start to an off-road race. We have a motocross motocross start to this 1 hour Hare scramble, and I did really good. I'm racing in the pro class against 250s, 350s, 450s. It's open, so anybody can race this class on any bike. Got a pretty good hole shot, and then just made my way back and back. You see, got stuck behind somebody right there. Coming into that turn right here, I pause it. I want you guys to look. See on the left, there's nobody there. It's just dusty. We're riding. This is what I was thinking too. Slowly, person comes out of nowhere. You see how dangerous that is? I would be so surprised if he did not get hit. I mean, I couldn't see him at all until I was basically on top of him, and if I was like to the left a foot or two more, I would have probably been pretty close to hitting him. So hopefully he's fine, but I would be surprised if he didn't get hit. And I didn't say this already, but my name is Ryder. I'm a 4-time national GNCC champion and a part of the Pro Yamaha factory support off-road team. And this is the Pinehill P27. So they do 2 1-hour motos, and we were running what was called the B schedule this weekend. So Pro goes before Pro 125. So what you guys are watching now is my Pro moto, and then make sure you guys stick around for my Pro 125 moto, where I'll have some back camera, a lot more to look at, and I think it'll be just as, if not more, interesting. So I'm also here today with my dad, Mike Siggety.
Hi everyone. I was at this race, but I did not race. I don't really care that much for motocross, and I definitely don't care for extreme dust, so it's probably a good thing I didn't bring my motorcycle, though I was planning on to. But please don't think anything was wrong with P27. The series is awesome, the promoter is awesome, the track was laid out very well. Just got some bad weather, which is shocking because they got like a storm that passed through just the day before, and the track preview had like standing water on it. So how it got so dusty is unbelievable. And on top of that, it was a 2-day event. This is day 1.
Yeah, so I was recently just in Tennessee for a couple of things. Also went down to Loretta's for a day just to watch. And I just got back from Tennessee before this race, and so much to do around the house and everything to get back to where I was. So we only raced Saturday of this 2-day event. It felt so weird coming back on Saturday and knowing that I had no racing to do on Sunday. It's not like, no, I've really never had that in my entire life. Had a race in a weekend and finished it on Saturday and not had to race on Sunday.
To give you an idea on how bad the dust was this day, which you could see right now, the overall leader who won the 125 Pro race actually stopped to pull his filter skin off, and he was leading the whole race. Like he wasn't following anyone's dust, and if he was lapping anyone, he passed them so quickly that he probably didn't even have to deal with their dust. That's how bad the dust was.
Yeah, I wonder if maybe it was also because he was like down on power, possibly with the filter skin.
Yeah, I guess especially when you get a little clogged, but no, it looked pretty nasty when he took it off because he actually pulled over and gave it to me.
Huh. This moto track was really fun. It took me a long time to get used to it. Like, it was not until the end of the video that I actually start hitting all the jumps and over jumping or whatever. But this is my first lap on the moto track, and definitely not one of my proudest moments. I didn't hit a lot of the jumps. I didn't hit the finish line jump this entire moto, actually. But something that they did have at this race, they had open practice on Friday, which I'm sure was nice for a lot of people that got to go, who didn't have delayed flights coming back from Tennessee. But that would have been fun. That way I also would have knew the track a little better, and it would have been good. You see that tons of like silt dirt coming up from everywhere.
So we don't really get to do a lot of motocross. Ryder does a little more than me, but a lot more than me because I don't do any. But I just can't imagine getting on a motorcycle and racing a motocross track that you never rode before. Like, that's got to be really an odd feeling, especially for an off-road guy, right? Like if you're a motocross guy and you got a really good feel for jumping, like you could probably make it work. But even like the pros, when they race, they get a sight lap or two and then they run their hot laps. So that's got to be a really strange feeling to have to go out there and race at what would be your top speed on a track you've never rode before. But I tell you, the GoPro makes all the jumps look so smooth and easy. Like I remember like going closer to the jumps going, man, you look like you're just launching into outer space there, but just looks so smooth. So soon you'll see Ryder get passed by a YZ125F. And that's one of Ryder's friends, and I guess that was Ryder's breaking point to be like, okay, I'm not gonna ride like a pussycat anymore. I'm gonna not let my friend pass me. And then these two go back and forth at it for a while, and it's pretty good match. It's unfortunately not the battle for first, but it is still a pretty good battle. Oh, what are you doing here?
Yeah, I tried to take an outside line, and the dirt was all gone there, so I ended up getting stuck, and then I get passed by somebody in my class, which was pretty annoying. And behind me right now, that is not the kid that I battled with. Behind me right now is Oliver Cordes, and he is trying to get around the lappers, and he also started a row behind me. So he's catching me. I had no clue who it was. I thought maybe I was getting lapped. I knew I was riding really bad, so I move over, I let him go, and then I realized who it was. I was like, damn, he caught up 30 seconds to me, and then I just got really mad. So you're gonna see my battle to try to get back in front of him now. And in order to beat him, I have to pass him and then make 30 seconds on him, which is a lot. Like, I don't know if I can do that. I don't think I can do that, but I was still gonna try. What actually ended up happening is
You're gonna give it away?
yeah, I guess I won't, but you guys are gonna see in a little bit.
So I guess we've all been there before, where you're not battling for first, but you are battling with somebody, and you just don't want to lose to that one person. You pick your battles, right? You say, okay, I'm going to not let this guy run away from me, or I'm going to catch this guy and I'm going to pass him. And that's kind of what's going on here. Ryder's like, all right, this is where I'm drawing. This is the sand in the line. I'm going to catch this guy.
Yeah, and well, right now the person in front of me isn't Oliver. The person in front of the person in front of me is Oliver, and the person in front of me right here is actually in my class on a 250. I set up a quick line there, get myself on the outside, and I was like, oh, I gotta pass him right here if I want to get the if I want to catch up to Oliver. So I was just on the gas. I held it on so much longer than him. I thought I was gonna blow right past the corner, but it ended up working out perfectly. Of course, the dirt gets on the camera right when it gets exciting, but please, guys, don't pay attention to that. Pay attention to the battle, because it gets even better from there. That was one of the passes, and then it gets even more exciting, I think. See here, I take a good inside line there that was kind of hidden behind the trees, and I pretty much make up, or I'm starting to inch away at that lead that Oliver had on me. And once we get into the endurocross section in a second, it's going to be even smaller. Just trying to do whatever I can, because I was really pissed at myself now for riding slow the first half of the moto, so now I'm trying to bring it back.
So I didn't see this part of the woods while you were there. Was this part of the woods not so dusty, or is the GoPro just cutting through it better than the eye?
I mean, pretty much most of the woods weren't too dusty. I mean, it definitely wasn't good, but it wasn't terrible dust. It was anything like this where it was where it had the sun beating on it all day, specifically on this like ridge line here that we're about to go over. Everywhere around this ridge line, whether it was on the other side of the track or this side, was super dusty. You can see right here. Oh, it doesn't look too bad right now. The GoPro also does a pretty good job of cutting through the dust most of the time, I think. I feel like it's a lot worse when you're in person, because when you're watching the GoPro, if you can see the ground for a second, it's like, oh, okay, so you can see the ground, you should be going faster. But when you're racing, if you can't see the ground for a while and you can only see it for a second, then you can't like speed up enough in that second, if that makes any sense. Here, I was trying to do whatever I can. I'm trying to like get around him, but at the same time, he's on a 250, we're on a moto track, and I suck at moto, so it's not working out too well. He's dropping me.
know, every time we go to these GP races in New England, whether it's J-Day or P27, which, by the way, those two are like big competition for each other. And at one point, J-Day was much larger. Now they're almost in a dead heat, maybe even just leaning a little more towards P27. And I was talking with some of the parents of the top riders and asking them which one they enjoyed better, the P27 or the J-Day. And they said, at least one person said, they liked the P27 better, not necessarily because of the promoters or problems, but in P27, it's a 1 hour format versus J-Day, which is two 30-minute formats. And I can attest that two 30-minute formats, you have zero room for mistake. You make one mistake, one tip over, one fall, you're going to have a much worse result, especially if you're battling in the AA class, where in a 1 hour race you can make up that time, which we saw happen in one of the races. Braden Nolette and Brandon Gregory, if I'm saying that right, I can't believe it. He's just a nice kid. We talk to him all the time, and I can't pronounce his name right. They went from 30 seconds or 25 seconds apart to on top of each other, which you could never do in a 30-minute moto.
You see here, I know I passed the other rider who's in my class on this straightaway over here, so I'm going to try to do the same thing to Oliver. He makes a mistake, which is perfect. I cut up on the outside of him, I guess it is, and we're like neck and neck, or at least it felt neck and neck going down this straightaway, but he definitely had me here. And going to what my dad said, like everybody has their own opinion about whether what they like better, the 30-minute motos or the hour moto. I like the 30-minute motos better, I'd say, because in a 30-minute moto, no matter what happens, you're always going to have a good battle, and you can't make up time if you make a mistake, but you also, like, if you make a mistake, it's your fault, you know? So I think that's all part of the racing. It's like racing motocross. They never really fall and make it back up to where they were, most of the time, I feel like, at least. But that also is like part of the sport. Like, it's a testament to who's the better rider. This lapper here, we almost got tangled going into that tree. I don't know if you guys noticed that, but as I was coming into the tree, he was coming left, and I almost hit the tree. But I was like, if I don't make the pass here on Oliver and I let him slow me down, and then Oliver gets around both of us again, I knew it was going to be a problem. So I made the pass. Now we're back in front of Oliver and the person in my class. Of course, like a minute and a half later, the GoPro gets clean, so just dirty enough to block out the battle, you know. But that is pretty much it for that moto. And then on to the next. So the next moto is the Pro 125. There's only 125s in this moto, hence the name Pro 125. And another good start. I've been working on my motor starts, I guess, without knowing. I don't know. It's definitely a good start. Yeah, and look at this, guys. Everybody is on this slick turn. Everybody's leaning. You see crazy battle. I felt like right now I was in a pretty good position, and like last moto, it gets super dusty. I make a little mistake there. There's a route that I couldn't see because of the dust, and I kind of just keep falling back and back in the beginning of this race. You see how dusty it is here. It's crazy. I actually could not see a thing. I remember like not being able to see anything.
Yeah, I'd love to race, but not in those conditions. That looked pretty bad. And we were all standing at the start watching that going, wow, that's really bad. I can't even see my rider. So something else that's really unique about this race is AMA rules says you are allowed to like stamp down it was a live engine start on a moto gate. I don't know if we went over that, but you can stamp down your area below your tire, but you can't do anything in front of the gate. But since this is not AMA series, everybody shows up to the starting line with shovels and like gardening tools to make the start better. And a lot of people showed up real early to mark their spots, because you can just kind of take any spot you want, unlike moto where how you finish in the previous race is how you get to pick your gate. And everyone cleaned their spot, and then we showed up a little late to the start. Most people had their spots that they saved, but we didn't show up yet to ours. And just as we were rolling up to ours, someone else rolled in, and we had it like kind of marked with a umbrella. Most people mark it better with like something that has their name on it or a start stand, which we didn't have with us because we weren't aware of that. And somebody was like kind of pulling in at the same moment, and thank God we got there, or we would have missed that spot.
Yes. So in front of me right now, I believe is Van Gosselin. He got off his broken wrist, I think, a little while ago. Broken wrist and pneumonia. I don't know. He had a bunch of problems a little while ago, but he seems to be back up to speed now. Definitely felt like it when I was racing, because this race, everybody in the pack kind of lost me for the beginning of the race. And I was in between two battles. There was a battle going on like a minute in front of me and a battle going on about a minute behind me. And it's not until closer to the end of the race that you guys are going to see probably it gets a lot more tighter. But a lot tighter, more tighter doesn't make sense. And I started hitting more jumps and just felt a lot better as the race went on. The GoPro did get a little dirty though. It gets worse and worse. I just thought this was cool. Felt super fast hitting that, but I know everybody was hitting that turn so fast. And oh my god, I was not in a good mood when I fell here. I was riding slow. I wasn't battling with anybody, and I like, even if the battle isn't for first place, I just want a battle, you know. That's why I like to race, to have fun. And
so if you notice in the top right hand corner is the IMS logo. We love their tanks and gas tanks and fill tanks, and if you want, there's a 25% discount code, SIGETY25. That's SIGETY capital S 25.
yeah, but you're gonna see the back camera too. Some really good footage coming up of the back camera. We didn't run the back camera in the first race, but here we did. And look at this, so many Yamahas, by the way, guys. So many Yamahas in the 125 class.
That's a good thing that you showed the back camera, because no one really knows how many people are on the line with you. Like, you know, they just see 4 or 5 people ahead of you. That maybe you're the 5th person out of 5. So yeah, that gives a better perspective. And there's your friend Alipio, who's got the same number as you, messing around in the dust.
Yeah, there's John Alipio. He was behind me for a little while, then he fell, and then he caught back up to me at the end of the moto. And we had a kind of good battle about 5 seconds apart. We were both he was trying to get closer, I was trying to get farther, but fun racing with him.
So that is true what Ryder said about looking for a battle, because when we were trying to decide where to go this weekend, there was a local race and they got a lot of rain. It would have been muddy, which is fine for Ryder and I. We loved the mud, and he would have known all the people there. So I thought he would have had a better time racing with his friends locally, but he figured going to P27 there'd be more battles going on, and there was definitely more people, because the local series that there's a bunch of local series here, but the one that we were considering is a kind of smaller series, where P27 is a very big series, and he wanted to go to P27 where he thought he'd have more battles.
Yeah, definitely did not work out. I was in between 2 battles pretty much all day, but still a good weekend, good learning, and dusty, but it's good to ride in the dust if you're not good at it. I just put this clip in because I hit a big jump. This was the last lap, and I hit that jump like as fast as I could. I was in the air for so long, I felt like. But that's it. There's a poacher saying, giving me the finish flag, cheering me on, saying thank you, and thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, please, and we will see you in the next video. Bye.